I begin with a phrase that I find myself saying rather often. Trump had another meltdown. This one being especially dangerous, him calling for something unconstitutional to happen. What we're about to look at is genuinely deranged from Donald Trump. It's hard to come up with new language, new ways to phrase my analysis of him because every day he's doing something crazy. But this underlined, bolded, all caps is crazy. So he's up to his normal things late last night, ranting about who knows what on Truth Social. And then he comes out aggressively against the freedom of the press. We'll get to that post in just a second, but to go through these chronologically, you first have him saying at 10:02 p.m., all of these fake lawsuits against me are the work of the radical left Democratic Party. They could have been brought years ago, but they waited and waited and brought them right in the middle of my very successful campaign for president, strictly third world country stuff. The good news is that the people get what's going on and want to make America great again and will. So is normal nonsense. Then at 10:13, he says MSNBC, or MSDNC, uses free government-approved airwaves, and yet it is nothing but a 24-hour hit job on Donald J. Trump, talking about himself in the third person for some reason, and the Republican Party for purposes of election interference. Brian Roberts, its chairman and CEO, is a slimeball, okay, who has been able to get away with these constant attacks for years. It is the world's biggest political contribution to the radical left Democrats, who, by the way, are destroying our country, our so-called government. And this is the key part. Our so-called government, he says, should come down hard on them and make them pay for their illegal political activity. Much more to come. Watch. So you understand what he's saying. He's calling for the government to, quote unquote, come down hard on MSNBC for unfavorable coverage of him. The government should go after, he says, a media company because he doesn't like the coverage that they're doing of him. And we've seen similar posts in the past like this. So to put this into the proper context, he attempted to block the peaceful transfer of power. He called for the termination of the Constitution. He called for the death of his former top general. He mocked the assault of Paul Pelosi. He thinks shoplifters should be shot in the back as they leave stores. He thinks drug dealers should be put to death. He's promising to lock up his political enemies if he gets a second term. He's reportedly planning to invoke the Insurrection Act to crush demonstrations. He's using rhetoric that directly mirrors that of Hitler. And he's now calling for the government to, quote unquote, come down hard on media outlets that he doesn't like. But we're hyperbolic for calling him an authoritarian. By the way, while we're listing things, he's a civilly liable rapist. He's been indicted 4 times, was found liable for business fraud, impeached twice. And that is who the Republican Party wants as their nominee. I'll never understand. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Maybe you're naive, like I am sometimes, and you are thinking, well, surely the party of the Constitution, they say, we stand for the Constitution more than anyone else. They'll oppose Trump's unconstitutional ambition to crush media outlets that he doesn't like. No. The elected leaders will, of course, defend him. But why? Because they're scared of his followers. They want the MAGA base to support them. And here's the stunning thing about so many of their supporters. Most of them won't even know that he said that. And the ones that do hear about it will say it's fake. And the ones who don't say it's fake will say they don't care. As a reminder, that exact thing played out when I asked a Trump supporter about Trump's call for the Constitution to be terminated. And just to get his honest take up front, I first asked, what if Biden said this? What would be your response? He responded. Then I notified him it was actually Trump. Biden, for example. He says, let's terminate the Constitution. What would be your response to that?
Why?
Why? And would you say that's bad?
Very.
Can we read this Truth Social post from Trump? Right there, he says, massive fraud of this type magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, articles, even those found in the Constitution.
What rules and regulations?
All of the rules, regulations, and articles, even those in the Constitution.
He didn't say that.
Yeah, this is Truth Social post.
Dude, anybody can Google and make a shot like that.
No, I remember when he sent it out on Truth Social. I follow him.
Well, didn't Twitter not let him come back on?
Truth Social, his company.
The what?
Truth Socials, the account.
I don't have that.
If he said this, would that bother you?
No, because he's honestly taking care of stuff. He took care of it before.
So as I said when we originally covered that clip, so many of Trump's followers, when confronted about something bad that Trump has said, they'll say it's bad, but he didn't say it, or he did say it, so it's not bad. That sort of behavior reflects that of cultists. And you know who's also calling out the fact that MAGA is a cult? A former Trump lawyer, Jen Ellis, who was also indicted for helping Trump attempt to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. And she's now indicating she believes that MAGA is a cult. She fought for MAGA. Now she's saying they're a cult. So take a look at this on X. First, a Trump supporter said that she'll be responding to, quote, "I really don't care who Trump borrowed money from or whose butt he grabbed, but for some reason puts a comma in between whose and but, so it's whose comma butt he grabbed, or anything else. He's a good man and he was good for our country and he has my vote along with millions and millions and millions of other people. This many people can't be wrong." And Jenna Ellis responded, again, former Trump lawyer indicted because of her actions that were involved with his efforts to overturn the election results. Definitely not a cult, she says, clearly asserting that it is, which she's correct. It took her a long time to get there, but there we go. And I do want to go back. Can we just focus in on what this X user said? Gwen saying, quote, "He has my vote along with millions and millions and millions of other people. This many people can't be wrong." Wow. That's some powerful logic. Except you do realize that more people voted for Biden. So if you believe that the number of people who support someone determines if they're a good person, then Biden's much better, right? But she'll probably say the election's stolen. So that many people didn't vote for Biden. And I guess logic would go, so many people love Trump, and thus the election must have been stolen. And I know that so many people love Trump because millions and millions and millions voted for him. And I know that millions and millions and millions more voted for him than Biden because the election was stolen, which I know because so many people love Trump, which... And by the way, Jenna Ellis is supporting Ron DeSantis against Trump, so we're not acting like she's some sort of hero. But there's an interesting situation going on right now on that front. So there's a prominent evangelical leader named Robert Vander Plaat, and he decided to endorse DeSantis over Trump, and that obviously made Trump very angry. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds did the same thing, so Trump has been lashing out at both of them. And you can see here, Jenna Ellis responded to a clip of Platt criticizing Trump and said, "Fact check, true." And then here's the clip that she was responding to.
But now when you come out against me, and by extension, the family leader, and saying that we're pay for play, we're bought and paid for, and this is how we do business, that's just beyond the pale. And that means when we say choose well 2024, everything here is not a trait of a leader. The former basketball coach in me, I used to tell my basketball kids all the time, your character will be most revealed under pressure. When you didn't make the shot, when it didn't go the call didn't go your way, what will your character be like under pressure? And what you're seeing from the former president is character being revealed. Character being revealed, first of all, with Governor Reynolds and what he did by cutting a video against her. Two of the most popular governors and the most results producing governors in the country, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Iowa, Kim Reynolds. And you completely throw them under the bus and you call them names, and that just because they don't bow the knee to you. That's not leadership. And then because I don't endorse you, to throw me under the bus, my family under the bus, as well as our ministry under the bus because we don't bow the knee to you. That tells me more than ever this party and this country needs to choose well about who's going to be representing us as president of the United States. Because being president is just not a CEO. It's not just moving the embassy to Jerusalem, as much as we applaud that. It's not just appointing 3 Supreme Court justices, even though we applaud that. It's being a statesman. Are you worthy to be followed? Are moms and dads, grandpa and grandmas, are they willing to point to you and say, grow up to be like him or her? And I told people, Steve, in 2019 in Jerusalem, and we knew the 2020 election was coming upon us, and I told them the number one hurdle for Donald Trump is I've never met a dad or a mom or a grandpa or a grandma who have told me they want their son or daughter or grandchild to grow up to be like him. That's a big deal. And I think America would be well served today. And I think we have Ron DeSantis here. Ron DeSantis with his wife Casey and their little children, a model family. It's an opportunity, and I think Iowa is going to see right through this. I've had people all over the weekend saying, I'm done. What he's done to you, what he's done to Reynolds, it's proven a lack of leadership. Steve, you remember when we went after the 3 Supreme Court justices in Iowa, and I debated 2 Supreme Court justices, and when they left the issue of the Constitution and judicial retention, and they started turning on Bob Vanderplaats, the person, I said they lost the debate. They lost the debate because now they went after me, not after the issue. To me, Trump deserved to lose my endorsement. Matter of fact, I've never endorsed him, but he proved he was not worthy of the endorsement of me, of the ministry, and by extension, the broader body. And I believe Iowa will rise up. I believe Iowa will send a message on January 15, because I think they're seeing through this as well. This is smoke and mirrors. This is not leadership our country needs.
It's pretty interesting. Jen Ellis, who worked loyally alongside Trump in his attempts to overturn the election, I'll remind you of her in a photo with Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani up next to me, is now agreeing with that message against Trump. Now, I'll say again, this is not Platts turning away from Trump in favor of a reasonable candidate. He's going with DeSantis. But any of these divisions that can form in the primary are going to be helpful to Democrats in the general election if Trump can suppress some of the turnout with these attacks among evangelicals, among people who previously voted for him. That could be really important in the outcome of the election. And I said previously when we discussed this clip on the bonus show, it always cracks me up when people who previously supported Trump say, this guy has like a really bad character. Yeah, we know Robert. We've been screaming it for some time now. Before you go, don't forget to become a member at lukebeasley.com/membership to get access to the daily bonus show, an entire bonus show Monday through Friday exclusively for our members. So exclusive. The most exclusive, some say. The people are saying it's the most exclusive. Plus, follow me on Threads at Luke Beasley Official, Instagram at Luke Beasley Official, X at Luke P. Beasley, and sign up for the Beasley Brief, a daily morning newsletter that summarizes the previous day's events by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/brief, and I'll talk to you all next time.